Earnhardt Jr. ended up racing a total of 18 seasons in the NASCAR Cup Series, and there's a few seasons that stand out to a lot of fans, whether it's for positive or negative reasons. 2004, 2014, and 2015 are the seasons that are highly regarded. 2004 saw Dale Jr. emerge as a series championship threat for the first time in his career. He won the Daytona 500 and won a total of 6 races that year, which is the most he's ever won in a season. In 2014, he won multiple races for the first time in 10 years, and he won his second Daytona 500. It was the best season he had since 2004, and overall, it was a dream season for Junior fans like myself. In 2015, he took the crown back of being the Super Speedway King. His finishes at Super Speedways that year were 3rd, 1st, and 2nd, not to mention he won his duel at Daytona that year. Then there's the seasons that weren't so positive, which were 2005, 2009, and 2010. 2005 was the worst Dale Jr. ever performed since his rookie year up to that point, and this was because of a team swap between the 8 and 15 which failed. After winning 6 races the previous year, Jr. only got 1 win and actually missed the chase. 2009 and 2010 were the darkest years of Jr.'s career. He finished outside the top 20 in points in both of these seasons. He was even a top 10 driver during this time period, and it was hard to watch. I ain't gonna lie, I spent more time on my PlayStation Portable than watching the race around this time. It was that bad. There's some seasons that's kind of a mixed bag, like 2002 where he led over 1,000 laps but finished outside the top 10 in points, but won 2 races that year. I look at Dale Jr. 2008 season, and yeah, it kind of fits the title of this video. He was a 3rd to 5th place car for 3/4 of that season and then fell off when the chase came around and finished last among the chase drivers. But at least he won a race that year. The season that absolutely fits the title of this video is Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s 2013 season. This season is best described to me as a tease. It was the year where it seemed like it was supposed to all come together for Dale Earnhardt Jr. He was in the middle of a career resurgence around this time, and it seemed like the 88 team was progressively getting better each year since 2011. Jr. started running consistently in the top 10 again. 2012 finally saw him win a race for the first time in 4 years. So in 2013, the next step was to win multiple races and hopefully contend for a championship. And throughout 2013, both of those goals looked to be reachable, but never came to fruition. Jr. started the season off with a 2nd place finish in the Daytona 500, and to be honest, that was actually kind of frustrating to witness because it was the 3rd time he finished 2nd in the last 4 Daytona 500s. To see him come that close again, the 500 was kind of annoying, but hey, at least he kicked the season off with a great finish, and over the next couple of races, he was really consistent, finishing in the top 10 the first 5 races in the season, which gave him the points lead coming out of Auto Club. But the streak of great runs came to an end. The 88 team started to become hit or miss going into the summer. It was races where they just missed the setup completely or had mechanical problems. If Jr. had a good day, he was usually a 6th to 10th place car. He wasn't out front leading races and hadn't truly contended for a win since the Daytona 500. That was until the June Michigan race. Michigan had become a special place for Dale Jr. He broke a 76 race winless streak in 2008, and it was also his first points paying win with Hendrick Motorsports. Then in 2012, he ended up snapping a 143 race winless streak. So here he is coming into this race winless in 2013 up to this point, and it seemed like it was going to be his day once again at Michigan. With about 70 laps to go, Jr. was pretty much running away with the race, but ended up having an engine failure. Guess what, Jr. fans? We didn't have to wait that long for another heartbreaking moment. 2 weeks later at Kentucky, Dale Earnhardt Jr. scored the pole. He lost the lead right away, but held on to 2nd. After a caution happened, he won the race off pit road. After the restart trying to hold off Jimmy Johnson for the lead, the 88 ends up hitting the tire carcass that came off Denny Hamlin's car. Of course, Jr. had to be the one that ends up hitting it. Jimmy Johnson ran it over as well, but it didn't affect his car. I wonder why. As a matter of fact, Jimmy went on to lead a lot of that race that day, but when it came to Jr., his car was affected in a negative way. The fact that he still ended up finishing 12th despite having a damaged race car just tells me that he would have been a contender in that race if it wasn't for that damage. So after that, Jr. continued to be up and down during the summer months. He hovered between 5th to 7th in the points leading up to the chase, and to be honest, this was pretty typical of Jr. Throughout his Cup career, he would usually slide downward during the summer months no matter how good his season was going. Jr. had no problem making the chase though that year and was seeded 9th. Now typically when Jr. makes the postseason in NASCAR, he usually doesn't make a lot of noise, outside of 2004 of course. Other than that year, you usually don't see him and his team assert themselves to the front when the championship is on the line. But 2013 was different. Most of the regular season saw Dale Jr. be a 6th to 10th place car, but his team went from that to a top 3 team throughout most of the chase. The 88 team caught lightning in the bottle. Now with that being said, this is the part of the video where I start to get really frustrated talking about this. Dilla Earnhardt Jr. scored 8 top 10s and 5 top 5s during the 2013 postseason. His worst finish was 35th, which came in the chase opener at the time, Chicagoland Speedway. After running top 10 for majority of the race, Jr. suffered an engine failure, and this pretty much ended his championship chances. And at the time, you didn't know that because you just never know. It could be one of those postseasons where every driver is inconsistent, but that wasn't the case in 2013. Jimmie Johnson and Matt Kenseth were super consistent all throughout the postseason and won multiple races. But I'll come back to the championship in a little while. Jr. gets a 6th place finish at New Hampshire and then goes to Dover and has an absolute rocket of a car, and he made that be known before Sunday scoring the pole. The car wasn't the best on the short run, but it will haul ass on the long run. Right before the first green flag stop, he had about 4 seconds up on Jimmie Johnson and things are looking great. Until green flag pit stops where he missed pit road. And this set Jr. back for a while until about 90 laps to go as Jr. ran Johnson down. Doing the overcut didn't help and had the 88 cycle out 4th after green flag pit stops. A late race caution happens with about 30 laps to go. The 48 takes 2 tires and Jr. takes 4. So once he gets clear to 2nd, you would think this is his race to lose. He got so close to the 48's bumper but could never make the pass, and unfortunately would have to settle for 2nd. Jr. goes on to finish 6th in the next 2 races, but he's only up to 9th in points. Talladega will be the next race where he was a serious contender all day. He led 38 laps, which was the 2nd most, and was in prime position to win as he sat behind Jamie McMurray, letting the laps click off. Everyone is lined up at the top, and even with 2 to go, nobody made a move. Last lap gets here and you're waiting on Jr. to make the pass, but a caution happened, which ended the race. We'll never know if Jr. would have made the pass on Jamie McMurray or not, but he ended up getting another great finish. Jr. is now up to 6th in points. The consistent strong runs continue as he will finish 8th at Martinsville, 2nd at Texas, and 4th at Phoenix. Going into Homestead, Dilla Earnhardt Jr. is now up to 5th in points, but is mathematically out of contention. Still no wins after 35 races, and here's his last chance to try to snag one before the season comes to a close. The season finale was the Matt Kenseth show for about the first 100 laps or so, and then Matt gets his first true challenge of the race, and it was the 88 of Dale Jr. who was absolutely hauling ass. That 88 didn't take off the best, but on the long run, he was easily the fastest car out there. So as a Junior fan, you're obviously hoping for a green race. Strategy from others throughout the race will put him back a little bit, but he will eventually climb his way back to the front. He just needed the race to go green. With about 40 laps to go, his car was on rails and he made such a badass pass on both Brad Keselowski and Denny Hamlin to take the lead. He's pulling away and it's looking like Junior might end up going to victory lane after all in 2013. But a late race caution happens and it's not what the 88 team needed at all. What's funny is that the pit stop went smooth and he actually got the lead on the restart, but the short run was Junior's Achilles heel. He got passed by Hamlin and Kenseth, and right when his car started to come alive, it was too late and he would have to settle for third. After that, it really hits you. After having all that speed throughout the season, especially during the playoffs, Dilla Earnhardt Jr. went winless in 2013. There was about 6 really great opportunities he had throughout the year, but it never came together. Then you look at the championship. He finished 5th in points, 56 behind champion Jimmie Johnson. After that blown engine at Chicagoland, Dale Jr. went on to score a 5.6 average finish in the last 9 races of the season. Even if he goes on to finish like 15th at Chicagoland, he would have went into Homestead with a chance at the title. And you want to know what makes this stings even more? Dilla Earnhardt Jr. would have been the champion under the 2014 playoff format had it been in place a year earlier. Damn, so no wins and would have had a shot at the championship had it not been for one race. Yes, he finished 5th in the points and ran well all season. He scored 10 top 5s, 22 top 10s, and had an average finish of 12.6. That's a pretty good season on paper, but at the end of the day, it's a 0 in the win column and he wasn't in the championship fight when the finale came. This is exactly why I say Dilla Earnhardt Jr. 2013 season was a frustrating good season. It was such a tease, but I can't say this about 2013. It was a good building season towards 2014. And we all know how fun that season was if you're a Dilla Earnhardt Jr. fan. So what are y'all thoughts on Dilla Earnhardt Jr.'s 2013 season? Do y'all think it's the greatest winless season in NASCAR history? Which race that got away from Jr. in 2013 was the most heartbreaking? Hit that comment section up and I'll be checking them out. I'm gonna go ahead and roll up out of here. Y'all have a good one. Peace.